You're kind of confined into that little area.
Very true,
And like for me, last year I sold about 44 cars or so, 40 something cars, and like 30 of them went out of state. So
okay, wow.
So you got to think like Facebook isn't advertising my
to the
platform
world.
in California. You know what I mean? So like when I started paying for, when I had the website where, you know, people could land on my page and see all my stuff. They could see all my stuff that I'd sold. They could see, you know, customer reviews, everything about me in particular too, which is really good. Yeah, so all that stuff really helped. And then when you pay for those
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when he throwin' the fastball. Just too quick for it, peeling off like the whip orange. Seen they effort, this piss poor. I got too much, I gotta tend to. Car payments and the rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money stabbing, I'm 10-2. Too much that I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in a black whip, got old problems with the friends new. Yeah, I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Boy got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the raps. Had a few friends.
Hey you guys, it's Melanie Ann Hancock, and we are here with In The Mix with Mel, and we got Mr. Michael Gibson here. Bro, he does a lot of stuff. We just had a previous conversation before we actually started this, and he does a lot of stuff. We're gonna get into it, but Mr. Gibson, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Also, my name's Michael Gibson. I'm from Warner Robins, kind of born and raised there.
Okay.
My granddad was military, kind of moved all around the country, and settled at Robins. My mom went to high school here, so they just kind of like made it home.
It's your home,
yeah. So we kind of grew up here. My granddad's always been into cars. I've been into, you know, through that chain, him, my mom, my dad, all car family. So naturally I picked it up and do it like for fun, I've done it for fun for my whole life, but went to college here, went to high school here, you know, grew up, everything.
Yeah.
But got a bachelor's degree from Macon State, got out on my own, you know, worked at Northrop Grumman for like 10 years. I was like a corporate accountant.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so had a pretty high, steady job there. Transitioned to the base, to the Air Force Base. Have a really good job in contracting there where I analyze numbers and stuff all day.
That's awesome.
But this last year, I just opened up my business. It's called Him Street Motors. And,
I've seen. Y'all see. You need to follow his Facebook page.
Yeah, we do some cool stuff. So we like specialize in classic cars and specialty cars. So I do have some regular stuff that rolls through every once in a while. If people come to me and need to get out of something, or I'll buy it from them. But I try and stay into like unique specialty stuff just to keep me different. There's there's dealerships everywhere. Like,
but what makes you different?
I want to be different, and that's how I'm different. I love the old cars. It takes a lot more work to do the old cars and stuff, and I'll be honest with you, it's not as profitable as just selling like regular Honda Accords and stuff.
But I'm assuming you love it. I love it. Yeah, right.
It's just what I love. So I don't want to sell Honda Accords. You know what I mean? I want to sell like modified stuff. I want to sell Corvettes, Camaros, Mustangs. Like I want to sell the stuff I like.
I want to sell Honda Accord, y'all.
Yeah. So it's been fun though. So I actually got my dealer's license last year in February and was able to open the business in May. And my goal was I didn't even know what my goal was, to be honest with you. I just wanted to do what I loved. You know, COVID hit 2020 and it like kind of changed our lives for sure, because our social life like dropped off. Went almost away. So I really, from sitting around 2020 the whole year, not doing nearly as much social stuff, I was like, I'm not living like this. I got to do something with my time.
Well, right. I feel like when that time came for me as well, it's kind of like you had a self-reflection moment where you're like, I'm living for my social life, and I don't have it, so I'm just like, dang, I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, absolutely. 2020 was horrible. It was pouring. It was just horrible for us. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. But yeah, so that year really got my drive up to like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't want to sit at the base. I don't want to sit at a desk forever. You know what I mean? I want to do something that I love. I want to do something that I enjoy. And I'm really good at what I do. So, I basically invested in myself and did it. I just jumped all in, and I had about $100,000 saved up, and I was at that point kind of willing to risk it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Anytime you get into business, it's like, you have no idea what's going to come out of it. You have no idea how good it's going to do, if it's going to flop, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a huge risk. So, I salute anybody that jumps out there and takes the risk. But in my business, you have to own cars to be able to sell cars, and obviously cars are very expensive. So you had to have a very large initial investment, and I put that $100,000 in. It was actually about 120, and I started doing pretty good. I was doing about one car a month, which would basically just pay for my bills. But it was really, the name of the game was just getting my business name out there and just repetitively keep selling stuff, plugging people's mind, that I'm doing it, I'm not going anywhere. Like,
that you're just not trying this, just for like a hobby.
Yeah, it's not just like one car when I feel like it. It's like I'm doing this to sustain it, to hopefully make it to where it's something I could do forever. And you can't do that without going 100% in.
110%, honestly.
You have to go in as hard as you can go in. You can't just tiptoe into it. You got to go.
I feel that so much. A lot of people who want to get into business or have their own business and make it actually profitable, they kind of tiptoe into it. And I try telling people myself, I'm like, you got to really invest your heart and soul into it.
Well, it's like anything. You get out of it what you put in it.
You're
you're going to, if you're worried about the risk or the money or the work, whatever you're worried about, you got to put it in there to get it out.
Exactly.
It's not just going to do it for you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So it was a struggle in the beginning because it was, I've always been a saver more so than anything, and putting that kind of money out there was really tough for me. But I did it, and so it.
I feel like your background in analytics kind of like
Yeah, it definitely helps. It helps because I know car values better than anybody, honestly, really? And even though you're spending that much money, like, I know when I'm buying something that it's worth a little bit more. Right. You know what I mean? And then I'm also like doing a very professional service of like fixing every little thing, cosmetically, mechanically, like showcasing them the proper way, paying for advertising to get it in front of the people that are going to buy it.
I want to talk about that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So all of that, I just knew that I'm good at those things. I've kind of honed that craft my life, and I just went out there and did it and wasn't necessarily worried about the risk. It's like gambling, you put the money aside and you're like, I'm prepared to lose it if I lose it, but I didn't want to live my life down the road and regret never trying it. You know what I mean?
I understand that. So, that what motivates me in my life to keep going, doing my own thing. I understand that. And
I've got a lot of friends that are like really close friends that are that own their own businesses. And honestly, like I said, in 2020, I was like thinking what I was going to do, and everybody that I knew that owned their own business was like, there was maybe one or a couple that like didn't succeed. Everybody that I knew of that owned their own business succeeded and did well.
Yeah.
So I kind of leveraged that off of. It's got to work. You know what I mean? If it works for these other people, why can't I do it?
I was just talking to my husband, who's behind the camera, about that, how your circle is so, so, so important. Because when you're seeing people just doing it easily, it motivates you. You're like, I could do this too. But when you're around people who've never done it and also are negative, you're subconsciously going to tell yourself, this is going to be a bad outcome. And I feel like when you tell your inner voice really dictates how things come out. So
you got to surround yourself with good people. I know, like, even since I started my business, I've got a really good friend of mine that started a tow truck business, quit his job cold turkey, and he's been doing great. Another friend is starting a business, an LLC, doing transportation. And he's like, he sees I'm shipping cars all over the country.
Hey, bro.
He's like, just keep sending them cars out, man. I'll take some of them for you, Yeah. So like, I applaud anybody that'll go out there and do it, because the money is there. People and other businesses pay for these services day in and day out. Like, the money is going to be there.
It is there. Yes.
Yeah, you just got to take the step and do it.
Really, I like that. Okay, so you mentioned marketing and advertising, and I had a conversation behind the scenes regarding this.
Yeah.
So a lot of business owners in the younger generation, what I notice is that they skip that part. Marketing and advertising, it is
the most important part.
It is the most important part. Like, you could have a whole great business, you could have a whole building, but if no one knows about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with my business, I think my business really turned up a lot when I started paying for advertising. So I just assumed that, I did a ton of work on my own Facebook page and business page and a lot of sharing, and I did some events and stuff to try and bring awareness to my business, really. But the thing that helped me the most was, and it's unique to my business because I do cars, but I started paying for these platforms like Auto Trader, Cars for Sale, eBay, certain like platforms that like their platform is to sell vehicles, right?
Right.
So
that's your audience.
Correct.
Yeah, that's your audience.
So I did, I think it was like October time frame. So I had been open for at least 6 months, and I was just really getting the feel for everything. And I had gotten a little bit comfortable with, I was moving the cars, and they were profiting like I was expecting. So I was a little more willing to spend a little bit more money to, try and bring it up a little bit more. So I started paying for a couple of those things. I also started a website, like my own dealership website, and Google Analytics. So I pay for Google Analytics to like shoot people to direct people to my website.
Search engine optimization is called SEO, y'all.
Yeah, it works really. I mean, it's invaluable, honestly. And the website, I went from having a Facebook page, which was very professional, and it showed everything.
Would you say that, because a lot of people these days, again, within the younger generation, they think that social media is the way to go for advertising, just sharing and liking. Yeah. But would you say that actual marketing outweighs social media?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it's twofold. I mean, you can do well on just social media, but you're kind of confined into that little area.
Very true.
And like for me, last year I sold about 44 cars or so, 40 something cars, and like 30 of them went out of state. So So you got to think like Facebook isn't advertising my platform in California. You know what I mean? So like when I started paying when I had the website where, people could land on my page and see all my stuff, they could see all my stuff that I'd sold, they could see, customer reviews, everything about me in particular too, which is really good. So all that stuff really helped. And then when you pay for those other platforms as well, you get basically space on their platform, and they also have the chance of redirecting back to your website, which shows them other things and all that. So I really I did it originally with the website and the one site, Cars for Sale. And when I did that, I mean, we're not talking about a lot of money. It was like $100 a month.
That is affordable to
anybody.
Yeah, really.
So, and I had another buddy that's a mechanic, and he just messaged me yesterday. He started his own website, because I told him he needed to do it, and he did it with Squarespace, and I think it was like $150 to start it, and no monthlies. Mine is a monthly thing, but there's a lot of back end stuff that I need that it provides. Right. But you can just straight up start a website for very cheap.
I do that. I have one on Wix. Yes. Yeah. Very easy.
I mean, you got to have it.
But you do. So let's talk about essentials for an entrepreneur, like wanting to be legitimate, because you went from being, this is kind of a hobby. No, I'm like legit business owner.
Yep.
So what are some fundamental things an entrepreneur should have?
I would say the one thing that outweighs everything is the drive to do literally anything. Okay. I mean, you have to sometimes I'm doing expenses at 11 o'clock at night, you know what I mean? Like you just have to be willing to put in the work and the time and just be passionate about it. And I mean, from the beginning, if you're going to start a business, start it in something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
Don't start it with money in mind. If you start it with just money in mind, it becomes a job, just like whatever job you're in currently. If you do it as a passion, it makes that hard work and effort easy. I mean, it really does. Like today, I'm up here and getting a photo shoot done on a car that I'm selling, and like that's work. You know what I mean? But like I got to ride. I mean, it's a fully built Camaro SS with like 500 horsepower.
God.
So like I get to drive it up here. You know what I mean? I get to enjoy the drive. I get to hang out with my buddy who does the photo shoots, and then get to stop by and get me a coffee and come by here. You know what I mean? It's like that's fun to me, but that's what my job is.
Yeah,
so.
no, I agree because and there's ebbs and flows, ups and downs, hills and troughs to every business, especially when it comes to the bottom line. So if you're not making money and then you're just doing it for the money, you're gonna quit.
Yeah,
you're gonna quit immediately.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You have to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, you're not gonna succeed if you're not. So.
No, yeah, you really aren't. No, you really aren't. So let's talk about your actual business.
Okay.
So where is it located, and how people if someone wants to get a car from you, how can they reach you?
So the way that my business works, and it's very difficult in my field to get into this field because, like I said, it takes a lot of money to start.
Yeah.
It also takes a retail location,
Really?
commercial retail location, which is very expensive. And I would have done this a long time ago had I known this little caveat.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to secure my license with the state of Georgia with a commercial zoned office space.
Okay.
And you can get those almost anywhere. And I'm pretty smart, and I never knew that this type of thing existed.
Little things that people don't know until they actually get into it.
I just didn't know. I mean, I always see signs out in front of buildings and stuff. I just assume the whole building's for sale, but it's not. It's like individual office spaces.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with this office, I have an office off of Russell Parkway, which is right outside of the base. And
cool.
It works great for me because obviously I'm able to get my license and do my business, but I don't have when you think of a car dealership, you think of driving down the road and you see all their stuff outside. That's not me, 100% not me. I only do online. That's why the marketing is very crucial. But the commercial office space allows me to function as a legit entity business. And whenever if somebody sees my vehicle online, or they even just come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for this or whatever, I can show them my vehicles by appointment. I can do test drives. I can do every single thing that a regular dealership can do, and I don't have the overhead of having a full retail lot. So
that is smart, bro.
It's very nice. And a lot of people do it. I just didn't realize it was really a thing. I mean, you could do it for any type of business. There's a lady in the office beside me that has a salon out of an office space.
That's true.
I didn't realize that so many people did those kind of things. But this building that I'm in, it's 3 stories, and there's probably 80 offices, individual offices in there, and each one of them are rented out. So I pay $400 a month or so for the office, which is nothing. You know what I mean? So
that is cheap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get with you after this because I'm not gonna lie. Me and my husband looking for office space. That's a whole other conversation off camera. That's really cheap. $400.
$400 a month, and it's a full brick building. The building just sold for $1.5 million. So when I bring somebody there, they obviously they know it's just an office space or whatever, but it's extremely professional.
That is a nice life hack for business owners.
100%.
Did not know that.
I didn't know it either. It was a shock to me. So.
Yeah, I bet you were like, oh my god.
Yeah,
because I know.
You can get office spaces in really crappy areas that aren't well maintained for even as low as $100 a month. So if you have no desire to be at your office space, but you have to have an office space for the paperwork and the license and everything else.
Yeah.
$100 a month.
That is crazy, y'all. That's awesome. So what if someone wants to reach you? Because again, you're doing pretty well in your business, and you kind of, I don't want to say just start off, but your lifespan of your business is shorter than a lot of people's who's been doing it for a while, and they're not getting to that point. You know what I'm saying? So what if someone wants to contact you for even mentorship? Because I know a lot of, like I said, entrepreneurs who are thirsty for this information. That's why we're making this.
Yeah. So I have a Facebook page. Hem Street Motors is probably the best place to reach me. I have a website, Hem Street Motors, www.hemstreetmotors.com. I've got an Instagram. It's the same thing, Hem Street Motors. I've got a YouTube, which I don't really post anything on there. I would like to start doing video walk-arounds and stuff, but I don't have the time.
Yeah, so. I understand. So why's it called Hem Street?
So my granddad, actually, like I said, he's had probably 150 Corvettes over his lifespan. He's just niched into Corvettes. That's his thing. And he's had one. So he had probably the most desirable Corvette ever made. It was a 1963 Z06, and one of them just sold for 1.5 million at Pebble Beach. So he's had it. He's been in the hobby for so long that he's acquired the best things.
Yeah.
He doesn't own that car anymore, but he's had very, very nice stuff, and he's kind of you know, he was in the service, he was in the Air Force, and, you know, he was enlisted, so they didn't make a ton of money. My grandmother was a stay-at-home mom, so they lived in base housing. It was like, you know, cheap lifestyle, really.
Right.
But, you know, they didn't have any extras or frills, so he would he was into the Corvettes, and he would do it like a business, but as a hobby. So
that's smart.
He would buy Corvettes that he liked, and he would buy basket cases because he just really didn't have the money to get nice ones.
Right.
So he would buy them and like fully restore them, and then obviously once you put in that much time and effort, they're very nice at the end, and he would sell them and make a little bit of profit, and that was his like little side gig. And that's why I named the business after him. His last name is Hemstreet.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so
it's in the genes of you. I like it.
Yeah, so he's the one. So my dad was very big into cars, and obviously he was too. But he's the one that really taught me how to profit from vehicles. So
gotcha.
My dad just loves them. You know what I mean? And he buys them and holds them forever. My granddad would buy them strictly to make a buck. You know, sometimes.
Gotcha.
So he really taught me that, and I wouldn't be where I was today, period, through hobby, business, lifestyle, anything, if it wasn't for him telling me that.
Yeah, I like
teaching
that.
me that. Yeah.
Right, that's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so what's your favorite car though? Or if you have a favorite car, because I know.
Like I said, that '63 Corvette that he had, that would be like dream car status for me.
Really?
Yeah, the Corvettes, they call them mid-year Corvettes, 1963 to 1967 coupes are like my favorite thing. And I've probably had 300 plus cars in my lifespan, probably more than that honestly now, but
I've seen your feed.
I've never had one of those.
Really?
So I've always felt like they've been unattainable. I look at everything analytically, and those cars are like $100,000, and I don't want to park that kind of money into something like that. So
I feel like, well, let's say we're gonna reach for the stars, say you become a trillionaire, look at that car.
Yeah, maybe so.
So I always ask every single guest, so if you could have the biggest dream for your business, come to fruition, wish upon a star, what do you want for your business?
Well, so I actually already bought a retail commercial space. So my dream for my business is to have a full-on enclosed building shop. So I want it fully done inside, basically like an indoor showroom, and I want to have all of my inventory for sale on location there on display. So like anybody could pull up, check it out, check out whatever. Okay. That's what I want.
I love it.
So I'm working towards it. Hopefully we'll start construction this year, so we'll see.
What? I gotta do a follow-up interview with this dude, y'all.
Yeah. You have to, if you do it, we'll have to do it there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's gonna be pretty,
hell yeah,
it's gonna be
awesome.
pretty sweet.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you so much for coming on. You're very, very informative. I'll tell you that. It is very easy to interview because you're very, very informative. Y'all
Absolutely.
need to reach out to him. He's a really great business owner. It's a rarity to find a business owner who actually knows what they're doing and is actually progressing.
Yeah,
it's in such a fast pace, I will say.
Well, I mean, like I said, you got to go all the way in.
You do, and a lot of people don't realize that. They kind of half-ass it, if you will. They kind of expect everything to come out, but they put half of it in.
Right.
But I want to thank you for coming on. You're very, very, very informative. Very
Absolutely.
Easy to interview also.
Good, I hope so. I've never done this before.
No,
so
you did tell me. I was like, okay, let me sit back. This is great. All right. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Support the homie. Y'all, get a car from him. Like, you guys got to follow his Facebook feed. He's got cars, like so many cars. I can't even list. I'm not a car person, but I was like, holy crap, this dude really isn't.
I've got a few of them. They rotate through. I constantly get different stuff.
Yeah.
And I buy stuff regularly. So if anybody has something cool, unique, whatever, I buy them. And I buy them cash. I don't.
So if you, let's say someone's like, I have this dream car, I have the money, can they reach you and you try to search for it?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. You guys reach him. So I don't know if you want to give them any of your contact information one more time.
Yeah, just check me out on my Facebook page, Hemstreet Motors. You can send me a message on there or on my website, www.hemstreetmotors.com. All my phone number, email, everything is all on all those pages. So
y'all,
you can find it.
So awesome. Thank you so much again for being
absolutely.
on the Mix with Mel. You guys, until next time, peace out.
See ya.